Welcome to Excel Campus. My name is John, and in this video I'm going to share 6 tips that were submitted by you. So I recently held a giveaway on the blog for the Mr. Excel's 40th Greatest Tips book, and to enter the contest you just had to submit a tip, your favorite Excel tip. So here are the 6 winners from the post, and I'm going to share the tips that you submitted here in a video tutorial so everyone can learn from it. So the first one here submitted by Lynn is Ctrl+. We're going to go over that. Rajendra, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, submitted a tip on how to use pivot tables for working with numbers. I'm going to show one of my favorite tips, which is the report filter pages. Tom Crouch submitted a tip about Excel tables and Ctrl+T, another great one. Diane Smith, double-clicking the format painter, another awesome tip. Matthew likes to use F2 to edit the text or formula in a cell. And Deborah Holcomb uses Control semicolon to enter today's date. So let's go over all of these tips. So the first one, Control period to move around a selected range. This is a great one that I use all the time. So I'm just going to go to a sheet of data here, and I'll just select a small range so you can see how this works. Basically, if you hold down the Control key on the keyboard and then press the period button, that will move the selection around the corners of the range right here. You can see I'm just pressing the period, and the selected cell is moving around the corners of the range. Now, where you can actually use this or use this to your advantage, I use this all the time when I'm copying and pasting data. So here on this sheet, I have some new data. I'm just going to hit Control-Shift-End to select all this, and then I'm going to hit Control-C to copy it. And now basically I want to paste it over this data right here on this sheet. So if I hit Control-V to paste right now, you can see that it's pasted. But I'm not exactly sure if it's pasted all over all of the existing data. I want to paste over all of the existing data. So if I hold down the Control key and hit period right now, that'll jump me over to the right corner, the top right corner of the selection, over here to the shipping fee column. And so I can see that that has been covered. Now if I hit Control period again, that'll jump me down to the bottom. So without having to scroll, this has jumped me down to the bottom of the paste range, the range I just pasted. And I can see that there's still data below this. So I still have some existing data below this here that I would want to go delete. So I want to delete those rows. And again, if I hit Control period one more time, that'll jump me to the bottom left corner, and I can again still see that there's data down below that I didn't need to delete, so I didn't copy over everything. So that's a great one. Control period is a great tip to use. Now, another one of my favorites, working with pivot tables, one of my favorite pivot table tips, and Sylvia Juhasz, who co-authored the book with Bill Jelen, loves this one as well. I know this is one of her favorites because she actually showed it to Bill Jelen. So this is a great one, which is showing the report filter pages. So if you have a pivot table like this, I have the salesperson up here in the filters area. And basically, I could go and filter this report down here by salesperson. So I could just choose a salesperson's name, click OK, and that would filter this entire pivot table for that specific salesperson. But what if you wanted to create a report for each salesperson in this list? Well, you can actually do that with a feature of the pivot table. So if you select any cell in the pivot table and then go up here to the Analyze tab or the Options tab in the ribbon, and then in this Options drop down here, there's this option that says Show Report Filter Pages. You just click on that, and then this box will appear, and it's just going to ask you which field within the report filter here you want to run this on. And there's only one field, the salesperson. So we're going to press OK. And when I press OK, it's actually going to create a sheet for each salesperson in that list in our data set. So I'm going to hit OK, and you can see now very quickly down here at the bottom, I now have a sheet with a pivot table on it that's filtered for each sales rep in that list. And it also names the sheet name with that item, that pivot table item. In this case, it's the salesperson's name. So this is a great feature here. You can see as I scroll through my list of sheets, just move this over, I have all of my sales reps, a sheet for all of my sales reps here. So within just a few seconds, you can create this entire report, this book, with all these reports in it. So it's a great tip. Show report filter pages, one I use all the time. Now, the next tip was submitted by Tom about using Excel tables and using Ctrl+T to create a table. So here I have this set of data. This is currently not formatted as an Excel table, but if you select any cell within the range here, the range that's going to be the table, and you hold down the Control key and press T on the keyboard, that will actually create the table or bring up the Create Table prompt. Now, if I X out of this, this is also located on the Insert tab here of the ribbon with the table button right here. You can see as I hover over that, it shows the keyboard shortcut there, Control+T. So that will allow us to very quickly create a table. And you just press OK. As long as you have any cell selected inside the range there, Excel will typically automatically find that for you, the entire range, and you just press OK, and that'll convert that to a table. Now, one other little quick tip, if you don't like the formatting here, you can see my header formatting is kind of messed up from the previous formatting. You can right-click here on the actual cell style or the table style and click Apply and Clear Formatting, and that will clear all that previous formatting and just apply that new table style. So that's another little quick tip when you're creating tables there. Now, Diane had a great suggestion about the double-clicking the Format Painter. So if you never used the Format Painter, I just have a real simple report here with a cell that has some special formatting in it. Right here in the Home tab of the ribbon, there's this little paintbrush icon, and that's called the Format Painter. If you click it once, it'll basically allow you to copy all of the formatting of the cell you have selected. So I had that cell selected. I'm going to hit Escape so you can see that again. I have cell B5 selected. I'm just going to click the Format Painter, and now any cell that I select, so if I select the cell here, it'll apply that formatting, all of that formatting to this cell. Now, with Diane's tip, basically if you double click on the Format Painter here, if I double click it, now when I hover over and select a cell, the Format Painter stays enabled, so I can now select another cell and apply that formatting as well. So now I can just continue to apply that formatting anywhere I want. Once I'm done, you can either hit the Escape key or you can go up here and click the Format Painter button again, and that'll exit out of the Format Painter mode. And then Matthew had another great tip on using the F2 key on the keyboard. This is another one I use all the time. If you have any cell selected, it can have text or it can have a formula. This cell here has text. If you hit F2 on the keyboard, that'll jump you into this edit mode for the cell, and you can actually start typing here or adding to your formula or editing your formula. So this cell here contains a VLOOKUP formula. If I hit F2 on the keyboard, that'll jump me in to the edit mode to be able to edit this formula, and then I can make changes to it and go in here and edit it however I like. So that's a great one. And then when you're done making the changes, you hit Enter. If you don't want to make any changes, you can hit the Escape key, and that'll get you out of edit mode, and now you can go back and select cells. So another great tip from Matthew. And then finally, Deborah had a tip about entering today's date in a cell, and you can use the Control semicolon keyboard shortcut to do that. So any cell here, blank cell, just hold down the Control key and press the semicolon key, and that will enter today's date right there. And then if you just hit Enter, that'll basically enter it in the cell. Control-Shift semicolon will enter the current time. So that's how you can enter the current time right there in a cell as well. So those are two great keyboard shortcuts that can save you a lot of time when entering dates and times. So I hope you enjoyed that. That's 6 tips from the winners from the Mr. Excel book giveaway. You can check out this blog post that contains over 350 additional tips submitted by you, the fans and readers of excelcampus.com. Again, I really appreciate you participating in this. I'll be sharing more tips from this blog post in the future so we can all learn from these tips and save time with our everyday tasks in Excel. Don't forget to subscribe to my free email newsletter for more tips and tricks like this. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.